the Mahoning Valley Daily Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Mahoning Valley Daily Podcast. This is the 18th of August. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Ron Cabuno. Before we get into this little show, which is just going to have a couple little segments, nothing too big, I wanted to mention the passing of a friend of mine, a friend of my mother's, a friend of our family's, Miss Jackie Lashinsky. She was an absolutely critical part of helping to raise scleroderma awareness here in the Mahoning Valley for the past 20 years. She's helped with my mom with the scleroderma support group ever since it's been founded, essentially. And she just got really sick recently and passed away from her illness, and she is going to be dearly, dearly missed. She is one of those people that you could definitely label as one of the nicest women you'd ever meet. She would always come up to you with the biggest smile and always something nice to say, and just a caring demeanor that is so rare nowadays. Oh my goodness, it seems like they made these wonderful women in spades back in the day, and she certainly was one of those. So my goodness, I just wanted to, my heart goes out to her husband George, and we love you, Jackie, and we will always remember you. Thank you very much for everything. And so there's that. I was actually just looking through the portraits of the presidents, and I don't know why. I was just online. I was doing that. And although a lot of things like jumped out at me, I think one of the things that caught my eye for sure was, what the heck was President Truman's prescription? Have you ever seen this guy's like his glasses? He looks like he could literally like burn ants with the lenses of his glasses. It was ridiculous. It was, but it was, anyways, it was fun to look at all the faces of the people who have been entrusted to lead this country throughout the years. And, you know, facial hair aside, like, none of these people would be up to the cosmetic standards of the day today. No one would be able, like, probably from 1925 and before, everyone looks so silly by today's standards, they would be laughed off the stage. It was ridiculous. So, you know, we have a much more vain and materialistic culture nowadays, and those types of things matter. You have to kind of look like Mitt Romney if you want to be the president. You got to kind of look like Donald Trump, or, you know, all of our presidents look like presidents nowadays. And back in the day, if you look at Franklin Pierce, he did not exactly share that quality. So that was funny. Anyways, okay, so there was a story that I saw about this conservative radio host, Phil Valentine. He actually caught COVID recently, and he is not doing well. He is in the hospital, and he is in like critical condition. And he has long been known to be a COVID is a no big deal type of dude, a vaccinations are not necessary type of dude, and he's kind of changing his tune almost from his deathbed. And while I absolutely feel terrible for this guy and what's happened to him, I am also extremely mad because he's one more person who decided to use his platform to spew probable misinformation to people who are going to be affected by it, you know, including himself. And it's like a too little too late kind of thing, because as we know right now, it's essentially a pandemic of the unvaccinated, but we're also having some people with the breakthrough infections who are getting some symptoms, and all your vulnerable people who are never going to be able to get vaccinated are always going to be at risk. And it's just like, I wish these people who, you know, I mean, they know so well, they know better than the medical field now, all of a sudden, because it's gotten politicized. Like, it wasn't that way when they were getting tetanus shots their entire life, when they were getting their MMRs before they went to school their entire life. It's just now, and that totally sucks. And this guy was like saying, you know, all right, so if I get COVID, which I have a very, very low risk of doing, then I have a very, very low risk of contracting fatal symptoms from it. And you know what? If that is totally the case, which in most cases for healthy adults that is true, then why can't we also use the flip side of the scientific coin and say that, guess what? The vaccines are completely effective and very, very safe. So if you're going to use one piece of science, which is totally true, then use the other as well, which should lead you to go and get vaccinated. Please go and get vaccinated. I think I saw the other day that 47% of Mahoning County is vaccinated with one shot. I was like, that can't be right. We have so many old people here. Or you mean to tell me there are so many denialists and quote unquote hesitant people that it's at below 50? Blew my mind. I really hope that's not the case. And lastly today, I wanted to share the story of Mr. Chris Snow. Chris Snow was, this is out of Boston, because he was a former Globe reporter. He was also a Calgary Flames assistant general manager. Pretty young dude, diagnosed with ALS in 2019. He was only given basically 6 to 12 months to live because of this rare genetic mutation of ALS that he had. Well, guess what? It is 2 years later, and because of some breakthrough treatments that he has been receiving, he got to throw out the first pitch at the Red Sox game last week. And I think this is amazing, because there are fewer things that are scarier to me than Lou Gehrig's disease or ALS. To think that you could still have your mental faculties and have your physical body essentially wither away around you and not be able to do a thing about it is one of the scariest things in the world. And my uncle unfortunately had it and passed away from it recently, and I just hope that they are able to continue their success with any type of breakthroughs they have on the front of ALS research. So check that out, the story of Chris Snow in Boston. And with that, I thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great day.